All right, so this is about functions and function notation. The first thing I want you to know is that f of x and y are pretty much the same exact thing. Did you know that? F of x just means y. So it is as if I just wrote y equals 3x plus 5. Now, you don't have to cross it out. You just need to know that f of x and y are like the same thing. So if I have the x-axis, that's always here. But this can have two different names. What did I just say? It could be f of x. Or it could be y. They're the same thing. F of x just means y. Why couldn't we just go with y then? Why do we have to make it so complicated and say f of x? Why can't we just say y? Well, you can say y if you want to. You can, anytime it's in there, you can replace it with a y. But it is kind of handy when you want to change to another equation if you call one of them f of x and you call another one g of x. Do you get that that's different and therefore you can tell them apart, right? Whereas if I just said y equals 2x is this one equation, and then there's this other equation that's y equals x squared, they're obviously different equations, right? But have you even ever thought about the fact that this y and this y are actually different because they're different equations? That's why it's kind of smart to have different y's, so to speak. So whenever you see f of x or g of x, it could be a y. So I can have like 6 functions instead of just saying y equals this and y equals that and y equals that. I can give them, I can call them f of x, g of x, p of x, q of x. I can have a million different names for my functions this way. And here's another thing that's better about f of x than y. If I say f of 2, you know that I stuck a 2 in for the x. Try doing that with a y. I can't like put a 2 right here and be like, I stuck a 2 into the x. That doesn't make any sense. You can't do that. That's like multiplying y by 2. That's different. So this has some advantages to use what's called function notation. So f of 2 means I stuck a 2 in where the x was. All right, on that note, back to this problem. I said to do f of 5. That means stick a 5 in where the x was. Because remember, this is f of x, and basically that's a sideways way of telling you, hey, stick a 5 in where the x was. So then if I do that, if I stick a 5 in where the x was, then the x was right there. And I'm going to put a 5 in now. But there's another x right there. Notice I put it in a parenthesis. A ton of points will be lost by kids who skip the parenthesis and just stick a number there without the parentheses. Sometimes it'll work fine, but other times without the parentheses, it'll be wrong. Like, do you remember the deal where if you have a parenthesis around a -2 and you square it, you get a different answer than without the parentheses? This one comes out -4, this one comes out 4. So do parentheses matter? Of course they do. And so what I suggest is anytime you are sticking something in for x, replace the x with an empty parenthesis like this. Sometimes it'll save the day. All right, so we stuck a 5 in. There's a 5 right there. So what's the answer? F of 5. It's not f times 5. That's saying I stuck 5 into the function. That's what this is saying. You don't times f and 5. No, it's saying f of 5 is 15 plus 5, and so that answer is 20. F of 5 is 20. I think most of you have 20 right now. Raise your hand if you had 20 on your paper. Good. Now, here's the part that blows people's minds. What is the point? Not what's the point of this whole lesson. It's, I just identified a point. If you understand what I'm saying, please write it as a point. I know some of you are like, I don't get what you're talking about. But I just gave you a point. Talk to the kid next to you and tell him what you think it is, or if you're lost. It's okay to be lost. Okay. If f of x is really y, then y equals 3x plus 5, right? Because f of x is y, right? Doesn't this have a gajillion points on it? Yeah, and one of them is 5 comma 20. Who had that down on your paper? A bunch of you caught that. See, when I say f of 5 is 20, I'm really giving you the point 520. And I know you've never made that connection. Most of you have never made that connection before. That's new stuff. But from now on, if I give you a point, like, here's the point, 7 comma 10. Well, then you know effectively I just said f of 7 is 10. Function notation. Oh, and what are these? They're x and, instead of saying y, x and what? F of x. These two things, that's x and that's f of x, which is the same thing as y, but... And f of 7 is 10. All right, I know this gets a little confusing. Welcome to the first day of Algebra 2. All the stuff we did up to this point was all Algebra 1. And I know for some of you, either you'd forgotten it or maybe you've never even been taught some of it, but Algebra 1 is done now. And that doesn't mean we can just forget about it. It's going to keep coming back over and over and over. And that's why some of you have made some serious growth on that silver 20 thing. This is one of the silver 20 things. I know you don't think it is, but it actually is. Because we ask you to find points. One of the silver 20 skills is take an equation like this one, except I threw a squared into it, and find me some points on it. See how the points go with the equations? All right. So, learning to find a point on an equation. Here's the one that's on the silver 20. F of x, which you know is y, is equal to negative 2x squared plus 4x plus 1. And then they say, find me 3 points on this. Just a second ago, I showed you a point and how it was like f of this is that. Well, let's do that. In the directions, it says you have to pick numbers for x that are between negative 2 and positive 2. Basically, you can stick anything you want in for x, just don't make it too big. You know, keep a small number for x. That's really what they're saying. So what's a good x to put in? Well, here, everybody make an xy chart. What would you say is the easiest number you could possibly put in for x? 0, I agree. What's the next easiest number? Probably 1. And the next easiest number is probably 2. You could put in negative 1, but let's just do 0, 1, and 2. I think they are legit the easiest 3 numbers you could possibly put in. And if I put in x as 0, I put a 0 here and here. And y, remember f of x is y. Y is, be careful now, 0 squared is 0 times negative 2, which is still 0, plus 0 plus 1, which is 1. 0 comma 1. Now the thing I just taught you is, that means f of 0 was 1. You don't have to write that anywhere. I'm just trying to tell you that's what that means. I stuck a 0 into the function and I got 1. That makes the 0 the input and it makes the 1 the output. The x's are all inputs and the y's are all outputs. So when we learn a new chapter, you're always going to feel a little lost on the first day because there's so much that you learn on the first day to just like get into this new chapter. And so if it feels a little overwhelming, that's normal. It really is. After 2 or 3 days in the unit, now you're like, oh, this is kind of reviewing the stuff we've learned, and you feel much better after day 2 or 3. So by like Monday or Tuesday of next week, this will all seem much easier. And usually right before the test, it all comes together. And right now, the average on our last test was actually really good. It was a 90. Actually, that was the median, but it's pretty close to the average. And that's good, but it'll actually go up. The reason is because your Algebra 1 skills will get stronger. I bet you the average in this class goes up to an A-. And if all of you, honestly, if all of you mastered That's silver 20. Get those 20 things down. Then I bet you the average grade will be an A. Average. Seriously. It's that important. Some of you don't believe me. I can tell because you haven't done another single 20 yet. Okay, so if I stick a 1 in, I go stick it in here and here, and I get -2 for that, plus 4. -2 plus 4 is 2, plus 1 is 3. 1 goes with 3. And if I stick a 2 in, 2 squared is 4. But then I times it by -2 makes -8 plus an 8, which makes 0, plus 1 is 1. Weird. But did anybody else get 2, 1? All right, good. All right, so that's a review of one of those silver 20 skills. I know it's not easy. I get it. I'm torn. Maybe it's a smidge too hard, but it's already done. I already made the silver 20. I might change. I might even take it off of there because it's just a little too hard because of the squared. But for right now, we're going to finish the silver 20 the way it is. For next year, I might make it slightly easier. All right, so let's see if you learned anything. If I said f of x, new page please, f of x is 6x minus 2, and g of x, a completely different function, is equal to 4x plus 11, could you tell me what f of 2 is, and then add it to g of 2? If that's too much for you, act like I just asked for only f of 2. One thing at a time. One of the secrets to a hard math problem. You do one thing, it gets easier. The problem's a little simple. You do one more thing and the problem's a little simpler. Now, you've got a kid sitting right next to you that is trying to learn the same exact stuff as you. Please, take a second and talk to him about what you think the final answer is. Talk about it. See what you get. I want you to get some help from the kid next to you. So this part here is saying stick a 2 into the f function, which is right here. And all this is a label. It's saying f of 2 is... That is not 2 times f. That's not what that means. It means I stuck a 2 in the f function. And here's that where you get the actual answer. 6 times 2 is 12 minus 2 is 10. Who had 10 for the first part? Okay, good. G of 2, you can just stick a 2 in this other one. And you get 8 plus 11 is 19. And then you put them together and you get 29. Who had 29 from the start? Nice work. Okay, good. Now, I want to leave those same 2 functions there. But do like I did and clean it up so you can see the original functions here. This one's 4x plus 11. Make sure you're ready for a completely different kind of question. This is like next level. All right. What if I said that g of x is 19? What is x? I want to fix the partner situation. For today, would you stay in that over here so that you guys can be partners? And would you move back one seat? And that way people will have partners. Yes. Thanks. Go ahead. Just move back one seat. This is not like a forever thing. This is just I want you to each have a partner for today. And right now there was multiple people without partners. And now I think everybody's got a partner. Okay. Now, I get that some of you just pulled this off and you're like, ooh, I figured it out. X is a number and it's like 7, okay? Who thinks they've got it? Raise your hand if you think you've got it. All right, and that's only like 4 or 5 people, so I need to explain it. So hold on just a second before I explain this. Do you remember me telling you that like f of x is like y? Remember how f of x is like y? Isn't g of x just like a different y, but it's still y? Okay. All right. So this is saying y is 4x plus 11, and this is saying y is 19. It's both of them. Do you get that that means that this one has to equal that one? They're both equal to g of x, so they must be equal to each other. Okay, here's another way. I can tell some of you aren't buying that. You're not getting that. So I'm going to show you another way. If g of x is really 4x plus 11, it says so right there. If g of x is 4x plus 11, then can I replace this with 4x plus 11? See what I mean now? And isn't that just an equation that you could solve? It is. And if you go ahead and solve that, then you'd end up subtracting 11 from both sides, and then you end up with 4x equals 8. Who had x equals 2 from a while ago? Nice. Okay. You guys caught on to that faster than I thought you were gonna. I'm gonna give you one more like that. Use the same 2 main functions. What is x if f of x were to be 12? What is x if f of x is 12? It's a fraction. Scary. The answer comes out to a fraction, and that's okay. All right. At least if the person is stuck, if they're like, I don't know, just show them how you set it up, like this. So don't just, if the person doesn't know how, be their tutor a little bit and show them what you did. Okay, talk to the person next to you. Okay, if my partner was struggling with it, they were like, well, show me how to do it. I would say f of x is 6x minus 2. It says right there. So I'm going to cross this off, and I'm going to replace it with 6x minus 2. Because that's what it says it is. And then it's equation, 6x minus 2 equals 12. So add 2 to both sides, 6x equals 14, divide by 6. Cancels. Can you reduce that? Well, I would make it 2 times 7 and 2 times 3. That's how I reduce. 7/3. Raise your hand if you had 7 over 3. Yes. Okay. Cool. Then you are ready for your homework, because that's what it's like. I'm not saying it's easy. It's still, guys, it's kind of like mind bending. So honestly, I think it's really dumb to do your whole assignment and then go check it. I think it's really smart to do a problem, go look at the key and make sure you're doing it right. You don't want to practice something wrong. It's like the worst thing. Then it gets stuck in your head that way. So do a problem, check it. Make sure you did it right. So I think from here, I want to save a lot of time for talking through that algebra test with people. So I'm going to hand those back to you at this time. And if you really struggle with this, what are my 2 mornings you can come in for help? Monday and Thursday. It's up on the board right here. All right, so also, if you ever want help on anchor time, remember I'm only here periods 1, 2, and 3. So I can do anchor time. You can always come in to my anchor time. You're an open invite, but it has to be period 1, 2, or 3, or I'm just not here. Okay. All right, and that is all I have for you for today.